Hey, hello everyone. Good evening. Hope all of you are able to see my screen and hope all of you can hear me. Can I have a quick confirmation, guys? Everyone, can you hear me and can you see my screen? Yes or no?
Yes, Murli.
Perfect. Hey, Mohanty. Yeah, I think you're the one user here. Okay, perfect. Welcome, India. All right.
Thank you, Murli. Thank you so much.
All right, that's cool. Okay. So where we are, guys? So we started writing the code for adverse events in a very detailed manner. We are going with correct. And here, we have been given with another CRF. We have the project details, raw data set, and the specification Excel. These details are available with us, and we started building the SAS data set. Right. So this is our code. So from yesterday, not yesterday, day before yesterday, we have been writing this code. So far where we are, just let me read on this. Done. Let me see any errors, no errors here. So this is my base data sets that we have prepared so far, correct? So we have almost all our required variables except the AES sequence. We have to derive that. We have all the permissible variables except STDY and ENDDY, that ENDY, and we already have all of our whatever is applicable, all of your permissible variables also we have drafted, correct? These are all the variables in our list. Now, the pending ones are going to be, here are the pending ones. What are them? Sequence, anyways, we are going to do it at the last. But before going with the sequence, we have two permissible variables. What are them? AESTDY and another one is AEENDY. But if I want to calculate these two, the first thing is these are the days, correct? These days we are going to get only if we have the reference start date and time. Am I correct? Only when we have a reference start date and time, which is coming from your DM data set, only when you have that particular one, we can calculate it. Yes or no? Everyone accepts that? Right? It is not a straightforward one. Sorry. It is not coming from the single data set. It is actually coming from the two different data sets. And the second data set is going to be a DM data set. Only how do I know that? I know that you're telling this particular one, but how do I know that? We have already the derivation, right? So let's go with the derivation. So if you want to see the derivation part, you can see it in the where you can find your derivation part, guys. The derivation part will be in your theoretical notes. So where is your theoretical notes? This is the theoretical notes that we have discussed. Can you see this? AESTDY, that is AE study start day, is nothing but it is AESTDTC minus RFSTDTC plus 1, provided my AE start date and time in character format is greater than or equal to reference start date and time in the character format, which is treatment start date. Correct? So this treatment start date and this treatment end date are the ones that I needed. Okay, here we written the wrong formula. This is END. Maybe I'll correct it now. Yeah. Am I correct? Right. So I need two variables. What are them? RFSPDTC, that is treatment start date and time in character format, treatment end date and time in the character format. These two are from the DM data sets. You can see that here itself, I have already provided this data. If not, I'm going to do it one more time. So can you see here something called SDTM data? This is the data where I have all my data. In the project one also, I stored all my SDTM complaint data set. That is after conversion, whatever the data sets are there, those are already here. I'm using this particular one here. You can see Here I'll go with libname SDTM. I'm calling it as base, SDTM base data, because it is already converted data. Why I need it? Let's say that we are of two programmers. Maybe just like every time we will go with two programmers. For an example, myself and Mahipal, right? So let's say I'm working on AU domain. My team lead, but our common team lead has given this DM domain already to Mahipal. Mahimal completed that particular work. He have already completed the coding and he have already created the data set. And that particular data set, he put this one. Yeah, this is the data set which Mahipal got generated with Mahipal coded, and here is what the information is. Here I can see reference start date and time is there, reference end date and time is there, and I also have my unique subject ID. Yeah. So can I take these three fields now? Because for each unique subject identifier, I'm going to take my start date and end times. That is the reason we are bringing this particular data set here. So there is an already coded data set DM, which is present in my SDTM base. I'm calling this here as a DM itself. I don't want all the variables, just three variables are more than sufficient for me. What are them? Reference start date and time in character format, unique subject identifier, and the third one is going to be my, maybe write it here, unique subject identifier, RFSDDTC, and RFENDTC. These three are the variables that I'm looking at. Correct. Let's bring only these three. See now. Here is what your data. Correct. But remember, I'm using this particular one for one purpose. What is that? I want to calculate the duration, right? So for the duration part, I'm doing some mathematical calculations. So AFSDDTC or RFSDDTC, these must be in the numeric format because I'm doing the mathematical calculations, correct? So let's convert them into mathematical one, that is numeric values. Here, there is one more challenge for us. Your end date, I don't have any issue. It is single. But can you see this particular one? The start date, it is a timestamp. I need only the date, not the time. So what I can do now? Can I write like this? Can you see this? RFSDTTC1, I'm calling it as 1, is equal to scan of RFSDTTC based on the T timestamp. That is what we are extracting. Can I do this? So what I'm going to get here, if I do this, I'm going to get my start date and time and my end date and time, only the date format in the character format I'm going to get it. Right? So what happened to the other one?
Yeah, Murli.
Hmm.
Yeah, here we can use substr. Can we use substr?
Obviously you can use it, but if you want to use the substr also, yes, the method is going to be the same. So you are going to start from the 1, totally 4 plus 4 8 plus 2 10, 1 comma 10 I can use.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them I can use. Okay, so I can write a condition here. The condition is going to be, maybe I can use this as it is. This is what my DM data set is. Now I'll say data dm1 set dm. So here I'll do my calculations. That is, I'll do both of them, no worries. For RFSDDTC, I'll do one approach. For the other one, I'll use the different approach. Okay, so both of them can be used. Thus, on T, I'm going to subtract with 1. So the other one that you have asked is for ENDTC, instead of this, I can use substr. I'll go between 1 and 10. Ideally, both of them should be the same. Okay, But when it comes to the other one, RFENDTC doesn't have any timestamp. It doesn't have any timestamp. What happened to this? ENDTC, we got it properly, but this one, what went wrong? Oh, it is a format. It doesn't have it. It is a format. T is a format. It is not a character data. So we don't have that particular one. So even under this, I supposed to use the SDTM only. The reason is it is a format we have applied on top of it, and that formatted value you converted into the regular one. So that's the reason you couldn't find a T there. This is what my DM1 is. I have the timestamp, but still it is in a character format. What should I do now? Input of this whole thing. What is the format, guys? Anyone? What is the format? Can I say YYMMDD 8 dot? It is a YYMMDD 8 dot format only, right? Can I go with that? All of you? Simply, I take this particular one. Here I'll use EN. So now I supposed to see these two variables in the numeric format. What happened again? Maybe format mismatch. Yes, the format mismatch come to the picture because my data set here, it also have the hyphens. The total length is 10, but I have given YYMMDD 8 dot. So what should I do here? One other thing that I need to do here is use compress. Compress of this whole thing. The one that I need to compress is hyphen. Am I correct? So now hyphens will get compressed and I'm going to get my final data. Let's hope for the best this time. I'm supposed to get the output. Not DM1. Now you can see all of them converted into the normal values because this is a date format, right? So what should we do now? We need to apply the format for them, correct? But here I also going to do something, that is, let's say format RF SDTC, RF ENDTC, both of them I want to see it in the which format we can see? Anyone? Can we use the date 8 format itself directly? Now see this. Let's change the format. Yeah. So what is the difference between this one and this one means? This is your end in the character format. This one is in the character format. But the same one, we converted into the numeric format and we have stored here because I want to do the calculations. Is that clear, everybody? Can I have a quick confirmation? Right? So I can also do one thing now. What is that? Just simply copy this particular one and paste it here. That is what we are trying to do. We are trying to do this particular one. We are trying to keep this particular one in the output itself. Correct? So here I'm going to rename it. So I'm going to say keep is equal to unique subject ID and then RFSDDTC and then RFENDTC. What is the advantage now? I don't need this data set now. I'm doing this here itself. Under the DM itself, I'm going to have my unique identifier. At the same time, I'm also going to have my RFSDTC and RFENDTC in the character format. Is this clear? Just to show you the data, I have done this. Now all of you are able to understand this. I can also do something here itself. Do the renaming. Rename is equal to RFSDTTC is equal to this. RFENDTC is equal to this. The renaming part also we are doing here. Now, the same variable we are reading, but we converted that into the character form, numeric format. See this? It is in a numeric format. All of you are clear what we are doing here? Can I have a quick confirmation? First, to explain, I have written multiple steps. After that, simply I replaced that particular one with the easy steps. In the initial data sets itself, we can do this. So now you can see this is going to be I'm going to sort this particular data set on a variable called unique subject identifier. Similarly, I have here my base data, right? AE base. This AE base also I'm going to sort now. Dot sort data is equal to AE base by the same unique subject identifier and run. Then here we can also do one thing. While calculating, I'll do that anyways. See, I just have sorted both the data sets. Why I have sorted both the data sets? The reason is going to be I'm going to merge them. That is data AE underscore final. My final data set is, it is going to be the merge of AE base in is equal to A, my DM data set in is equal to B. And see, from the DM data set, I'm not bringing all of them. I just need only the reference start date and end date. Only those two I have brought them. I don't want full join. I need the left join. Why left join? You can see here. My AE base has 362, whereas my DM only has 330. We cannot guarantee that all the 362 here are going to be the unique subjects. Correct? Maybe may not be having all the subjects of DM present in the AE. So I'm just bringing only the left join. My AE final is here. Now RF SPDTC, RF ENDTC is also added to that. Correct? What else I need to do here, guys? Here is what my AE SDTC. Here is what my AE NDTC. Irrespective of whatever it is, I only need to take care of what I need to take care of. I only need to take care of my date format only. The date part only I need to take it. Here I have a timestamp. Again, I need to do the same drill. All of you accept or not? So can we do that particular drill here? What is the drill? To calculate this particular one, what is that? To calculate my AE data, maybe instead of final, I can say that AE base with DM data. I can write any name. Final, we can write it later, right? So here, what I want to calculate, I want to calculate this AESDTY, AEENDY. For these two, this is the calculation. Now, AESDTC is already part of your AE dataset. RFSDTC, you have already brought it. And also you can see here, RFSDTC is in a numeric format. Am I correct? Whereas your AESDTC, it is not converted into the numeric yet. Correct? It is still a character. What should we do now? What should we do now? Can we convert this randomly, dynamically? Can we calculate and use it as it is? See, I'll tell you how to do this. Now I'll say data maybe here itself we can also calculate, but later I'll do this. I'll show you first, then I can do this. So here I call it as AE final. What I need here, all I need is, I want to calculate two things. What are they? As long as these two are not missing, AESDTTC and your RFSDTTC, if these two are not missing, I need to calculate AESDY. Am I correct? So if not missing of, if it is not missing and not missing of, this one is also not missing, then do. If these two variables are not having missing values, then do this calculation. What calculation it is? Again, you have one more part in that. What is that? This is the one. If AESTDTC is greater than or equal to this one, then calculate your value like this. But the problem here is RFSTDTC is already converted into the numeric value, but EESTDTC is not converted yet. So how to convert this? Can I use this formula, guys? What is this? My whole formula is going to be, wherever my AESTDC first 10 characters are there, take that particular one, and you have your RFSDTC. If it is greater than or equal to that particular one, then calculate this. Will it work? Can I have a quick confirmation? Every one of you. Take the first 10 characters substring based on and compress this. Convert that into the numeric. If that numeric value is greater than your RFSDTC, this is your calculation. If not, if that is not the case, else, what is the second one? My second condition is here. If it is lesser than, then the meaning is this whole part is lesser than this particular one, then ASDTY is equal to this minus this. Done. Now check this. I'm not creating any new variable, but some error. Just let me check. Only one error under the else. Oh, this is a condition, right? Else if input of compress of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's check. Yep, done. Now go ahead with your AE final. Can you see the number of days are getting calculated? You have minus, you have plus. It is working fine. Here you can see all these are missing because my RF SDDC for this is missing. Wherever it is missing, it's absolutely fine. If it is not missing, we are calculating this. Correct? The same logic I can also apply for AE ENDTC. That's it. Instead of SD, EN. Done. Everything remains going to be the same. Now check your AE final. Wonderful. We are getting the data. So now you have STDTY as well as ENDTY data is also there. Wherever it is available, we are taking it. Now we go one step ahead. Why unnecessarily creating this data set and do all these calculations? Instead, why can't you do these calculations here itself and call this as a AE final? You merge it and do there itself like this. No errors, correct? Now go with your AE final. Still you got the same data. Why unnecessarily I have to create one more data set? I don't do that. Clear, everyone? I'm showing you the easy steps first. Then I'm trying to go ahead with the regular one as well. Now you have your why we use compress and why did not use YYMMDD. Okay, Ankita, this one, right? We can use it. We can use it. But all I want to do here is while I'm converting from character to numeric, right? I have only this hyphens. That is the reason I'm compressing the hyphens, making sure what is going to be my final date, and then I'm using the respective value for it, that is format for it. If you're 200% confident about your data, that your data is in a proper this format, YYYY hyphen MM hyphen TD. If you're 200% sure that your data is in this particular format, you can use YYMMDD 10 dot also instead of compressing. You can do that. It is just a sanity check. You're making sure that however we convert out our data, we are coming back to the data in the same manner. Because if you see this, here is what. How we converted, we are coming back in the same way. That is the only thing that I'm using 8 dot. There is nothing wrong if you want to go with a 10 dot also. I don't say that no, Ankita, you shouldn't do it. No, you can do it. Nothing wrong. Am I clear? This is my way of writing. I want to compress the data, see all this, and go with the applied format. Otherwise, you can also go ahead with the 10 format. Nothing wrong in it. Right. So what and all are completed so far? Can I say all the permissible variables are done? What is pending now? What is pending now? Only one. What is that? Yeah, sequence number. So let's calculate the sequence number. So rock sort data is equal to AE final by the sorting we are going to done based on your study identifier, correct? You are going to do your unique subject ID, and then AE term, and then now the question to all of you is why I am using only these 4 variables? For what reason I am doing my AE final only for these variables? Can anyone tell me?
Yeah, sequence number.
No. Sequence number is fine. But why should I sort the data only on these variables? Did you get the question? I'm just using the same name here because I want to do this here later. The question to all of you is why I have picked these 4 as my sorting variables. To calculate the unique subject ID, sorry, to calculate your sequence number, nothing wrong in that, right? But the question is going to be, why should I do that? Why can't I go with other things? Anyone? Okay. What is the nature of your because of calculate all event of one ID. Yes, Ankita, I can sense what you're trying to say. For this only, at the beginning of each of the domain, we also go ahead, what is going to be the nature of this particular domain? One record per adverse event per subject. For each subject, for each adverse event, we are going to have one record. Correct? Now see this. Starting on your study ID or not doesn't make sense because study ID is going to be only one. Correct? That is nothing but your only one study ID. This is unique subject identifier is the one which is going to decide your subject. So one record per subject. Then per adverse event. How do I define an adverse event? I can define an adverse event based on my AE term, which is going to be my topic variable. What is going to be the name of the adverse event? What is the start date and time of the adverse event? Am I correct or not? Why I shouldn't take end date and time? Some adverse events have the end date, some adverse event doesn't have the end date, but all the adverse event must and should will have your start date and time. Correct or not? There is no case scenarios where your start date is missing, right? So to define my adverse event, I'm taking this combination. To define my subject, I'm going with the subject identifier. That is the reason I have calculated, I'm sorting my data set on these four variables. You need to know why, then only you can understand the subject. Ankita, I think what you're trying to say is the same, correct? So I totally got it. Questions, guys, others? Team, is this understandable? Why? This questions has to come from you. You should ask me, Murli, why you are doing only the calculation on this, not on others. You should ask me. But I am raising the question myself and again I'm answering it. But that's absolutely fine. As long as you are understanding, I'm comfortable. Right? Done. Here now I will go with the final data. That is, now I will go with data AE underscore final. This is my AE underscore final. This is a SDTM compliant one. And here I'll say set is going to be this by these four variables because I want to create the first dot and last dot now. So then what is going to happen? If first dot of on what I'm going with for each patient, if it is a first dot of subject ID, then what I'm going to get? If it is a first dot of subject ID, then your AE sequence number is equal to 1. Else, your AE sequence number incremented by 1. Yes? All of you accept this? Right? Now run this. It is going to be my AE final now. Go with the AE final. I can see the sequence number for each of it. Here I can see the sequence number of 7. Maximum I got 7. That is from here to here. Let's check. Can you see the subject ID is going to be the same? The subject has 7 instances. Is this correct or not, guys? And again, you can see that I don't need subject ID. Subject ID is not part of my variables. Correct? Subject ID is not required. I can drop it. If you want, I can drop the subject ID because it is not required. This you can drop it here itself. Here we don't need to do this. Subject ID is no more useful. Correct? It is not part of our variable list. Right? So this is what your final data. I'm just running everything together. Here is what my AE final is. I have all my variables as is. Correct? Now, this is one part of the code, but it is not end yet because we have completed all this. We started with the required variables. All the required variables are done. All the expected variables are done. All the permissible variables are done. All of your derived things also done. Still what is pending? Still what is pending? Lengths are not matching yet. Correct or not? Lengths are not matching yet because you also need to take care of the lengths. We haven't taken care of the lengths at any part of your code. Correct? We simply write the code, but we also need to take care of the lengths as well. Correct? So now concentrate on that particular piece. So how to do that? This is what my initial thing, right? Data. So here itself, before your set statement itself, write your length. Write your length statement accordingly to that is length of what and all the variables I can go here. What and all the variables I can go here? Can someone please tell me? What are the variables? Now again I'll go with the specification Excel. This is my specification Excel. Not this. This is the one. First go with the required variables. Write one by one. Under the required variables, for all of them, the length is already mentioned. For all of them, correct? Study ID should be 20, unique subject ID should be 22, AE term is going to be 600. Oh, that is in length. Here is what I had to say. Sorry, out length I need to check. These are the ones, right? Out length 22. Then you are going to have 22 for numeric. I don't need to assign anyways. By default, it is 8. AE term 200. AE decode is equal to 200. Correct? So for now, what I can do is I'll simply hide these two. These are my lengths. Copy them, paste it here. What are them? $20 $2. And then I'm going to have unique subject identifier 22 dot. AE sequence, I don't need to mention. It is a numeric. By default, it is going to be 8. And AE decode followed by AE term. For them, it is going to be 10. Is that correct, guys? So the first set is over. The required variables are over. What is the next thing that I'm going to do? I will go ahead and I'll do this for the expected variables. Again, under the expected variables, I only take care of what and all I have to take care of. These and all, right? Where and all it is 8, I don't need to worry about. Correct? Where and all it is going to be the other one that I need to check. Correct? So this code is 8, I don't need to worry about it, but AELLT, I need to take care of this. It is a character. AELLT 200 dot. What is the next one? AEHLT 200 dot. Then AEHLGT and then AE body sys and then AE SOC. What else? AE this one SER serious AE action and then all these AEREL. This is also character. But SDTTC and ENTTC, these two are going to be lengths, date values. So we don't need to worry about it. So here, this one 200. This one is also 200. AE SOC is also 200. AE SCR is going to be 1. Your AE SCN is 51. AE REL is 27. Yes. Yes or no, guys? All of you are comfortable what I'm trying to do here? Can I have a quick confirmation? Because I'm going to assign the lengths as well. I should not mess up with the lengths. Lengths also going to be very important. I should not mess up with them. All right. So that's the reason I'm going ahead with that. Right. So initially itself we'll assign it. Before reading itself we'll assign it. It nicely going to take that particular part. So length part for the expected variables also done. Then I'm going with the permissible variables. Here is what my permissible variables are. So group ID, again, here I need to do something. Only what is applicable, only for them I'm going to apply this. For numeric variables, I don't need to. Correct? For the numeric variables, I don't need to. So only for the character, that too. Oh, these are two different tables. Okay, just give me a second. Permissible variables. Under the permissible variables, these are going to be my various values. The first thing is going to be AE group ID. AE group ID anyways blank, but still it is going to be a character data. Let's take this. AU group ID dollar 10 dot. What else? AE reference ID. It is a record number. It is a numeric. I don't need to worry about it. AESP ID. Your AESP ID is a character. So irrespective of whether I have the value or not, I'll take this. So from here to here, I can take it as it is. So this, correct? So now let's take about it. AESP ID. What and all the numerics I don't need to worry about, right? So the numerics are going to be, oh, it is going to be a control terminology, yes or no. This is character only, so we need to take it. So this is going to be dollar, dollar, put dot after it, dot after it, dollar 25 dot. Guys, you understand what I'm doing here? I have a confirmation. Everything I want to have it as per the proper compliance. That is the reason I'm taking care of everything here, nothing else. 25s are done. 20, 24. This is 54, correct? AE pat is 54. Yep. AE out is 66. Now all ones comes to the picture. This is going to be my final value, which is going to be 20. But still we have few more. What are them? These three, correct? Let's also do these three. So with this, we are good with everything. We are properly have completed the coding for, no, still there. I'll tell you what is still there. 20, and 25. So the length part also completed. All right. Now, alternatively, what we can do is, alternatively, these are all my key variables, right? Cut them. Here, define them. Define macro variables. Macro variables. So keep variables. What and all going to be my keep variables? I'll simply say percentage let keep underscore VARR, keep variables is equal to this. I define them here. Now I can call this particular macro variable directly here. Done. Clear, everybody? Now my length variables also there. My renaming variables are here, and all other data is also penned here. Everything is final. Now run this program as is. No errors anywhere. Your final data set is here. Everything as per your SDTM. If you want, what you can do is just go with one proc contents. Proc contents data is equal to AE final. Now you can see your data with the proper length and everything. What happened to this? Oh, T is missing. Can you see now? All the lengths as you defined is come to your output. Correct? 51, 25, 8, wherever numeric is 8, length is 8. By default, it will take 8. For all other things, it is going to be whatever the length is there, that length we have taken properly. Still, one last thing is pending. That is a simple cosmetic change, and that cosmetic change is the labels. The labels part we haven't do yet. Correct? Labels are still pending. Can we go with the labels now? Every one of you, can I get a quick confirmation? Can we go with the labels? If you do the labels, that is going to be the end of your coding, right? So how to do the labels? So here also I can write it directly. Here also I can write it if I want. One way. The other way is I want to store my final output into the SDTM, right? This is what I mentioned to you, right? So data SDTM.ae. This is my final data set in the final library. Set AE final. Lengths also there. Everything is in proper order. All I'm going to do now here is I'm going to write my variable labels. That is the only thing that I'm going to do it. So I'll show you the sample. Label. What are the labels? I can use the specification Excel again for it. Any one of the specification Excel, I can use it. Here is what your variable labels are here. Can you see this? Can I say all these variables are there? 51. Copy this, paste it here. All I'm going to do here is for each of this, I'm going to write the labels. Okay. Study identifier. This one I can simply copy paste this. Right? If you are using some nice editors, you can also do this. Sometimes what we will do is we will write the macro for it. We can keep a macro. That macro automatically applicable on your things. It is easy. Anything you can use. Generally, writing a macro is going to save a lot of your work because you're going to work on this domain again and again. That's the reason all the key variables we written at one place, right? And all these patterns also we just keep it at one place so that you don't need to worry about writing this again and again. Once you write it, it will be useful again and again to you. So it is going to be like only once in a while we are going to have this. Hey, we haven't calculated the epoch, correct? Sometimes we need to calculate the epoch as well. How to calculate the epoch, guys? By anyone, can you tell me? Can you calculate the epoch? Team, can someone please tell me? To calculate the epoch, I need SC domain, subject elements domain I need. Then only I can do it. So for now, I don't need to go with this. Okay. So here is what my data is. Just let me put it in a proper order, and then I'll also write it for the other parts. Just a second. All right, done. Only end double quotes when need to put, I'll put it in a while. So here, this. Just a second, guys. There are a lot of work that we need to do here. This is going to be a manual work, but still worth doing it. So labels are ready, right? A few things we are missing here still. What are them we are missing here is unique subject identifier is all done. Some question marks we are missing. Some question marks we are missing. Those question marks I'm trying to identify. But almost we are good, but just I'm still going ahead with that. Some serious events are there, right? Okay, here it is. Does it involves cancer, any birth anomaly, this disability, death, requires hospitalization, life-threatening, occurred with overdose or any other medical event? These are all going to be your question marks. Those question marks I'm just putting here. Now even we have the labels. Now if you check my final data set, which is going to be in my SDTM, the first big data set that we have in here. Now you can see everything is in a proper way. Yes, this is your final data set. All of you are able to understand now? So any questions or any doubts from anyone? Provided the data, 51 variables we have written here. Isn't it a wonderful one or not? Slowly, one by one, carefully we have written it. Any questions from anyone, guys? I just want to know if any of you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them. Anyone? Guys? Can I consider all of you are comfortable with us? All right. Okay. I'll share this particular code with you. This is end of your adverse events. So I already have shared the data with you, right? So with that particular data, you can happily work on these three. What are they? You can happily work on medical history, disposition domain, as well as deviation protocol. All these three things you can happily work because of with your data. Adverse events is done, you can work on these three. So tomorrow I'm going to write the code for DM. Of course, DM we have done for the other small data set, but let's do it for this particular data set one more time. Okay. So our demographic data sets we'll write it tomorrow, so that you have a comfort of having total of 4 plus 4, 8 domains you are pretty comfortable with. Theoretical part is over for the 8. At the same time, your practical part is also completed with that. Is that okay? Everyone, can I have a quick confirmation? All right. So I'll share the code right away after this particular class. Let's go with this. Okay. See you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Tomorrow is going to be demographic domain. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Take care. Bye.